Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Fire Force, Episode 8. So, last time we had an infiltration of Company 1 with Shinra, Maki, and Arthur coming in along with a couple others to try and get some intel on Company 1 through, well, being there. They came in as these apprentices, basically, looking to better their skills and whatnot. And Shinra kind of went a little far, because he knows that the Company 1 captain knows more than he's letting on. So he challenged him to a match, and if he won, he got to ask any question he wanted. And it didn't really go well at all for our heroes. Like, they were completely outmatched. So now I guess we're just going to go into more of this, just trying to figure out what's going on here and get as much info as they can. That's all I can see happening. I don't know what else we're going to go with this arc, though. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, that being said, we're just going to get this started, but before we do, you may notice a different room and everything, just like with yesterday's Revolutionary Girl Utena reaction. Simply put, I did not know people were going to be home and around today, so I am recording in my room just to be a little nicer, so I can not be as distracting and whatnot as I would be if I were out there. Also, if you notice like any background noise and stuff, I do have my fan going because it does get warm in here. And although I was fine for recording the Revolutionary Girl Utena reaction, it was starting to get pretty warm, so I decided to put the fan on. But either way, we're going to get into this, hope for the best, and see what this episode has in store. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, this episode made me uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. We found out at least one person who's creating the Infernals, and we found out how, which I did not expect we would find either of those things out this early. But that means that there's probably going to be a lot more to deal with going forward in relation to all this. So, as the continued investigation of Company 1 is moving forward, we have an Infernal spotted in town. Shinra and Arthur go along with them, but are basically just told to keep watch and everything, because integrating them in would cause confusion and issues, which is true. So while they're keeping watch, they see some dude just kind of walk out of an alley, and then they see someone in the alley reach out an arm, press this jar with a bug in it against his back, and we find out that this bug, whatever it is what causes Infernals. They burrow their way into a person, and it somehow causes them to combust and become an Infernal. So we see that the person appeared to have a lieutenant's jacket. So Shinra and Arthur chase after and find the two lieutenants of Company 1 in the alley. So they decide to investigate them because that's the only lead they have. So they look into the one lieutenant's room where they kind of walk themselves into a trap that he set up for them. But it's revealed that he's not the one behind it, but is investigating it as well. So they kind of agree to work together to figure out what's going on, and with their suspect now being the other lieutenant, Rika. And then we find out pretty quickly after that it is indeed Rika. He, with Tamaki's help, unbeknownst to her what's really going on, he gathers this woman and a bunch of kids in this building under the idea that he's trying to find a cure for this. And in order to have Tamaki take the blame for everything, it almost looks like he breaks her back, but I'm not quite sure that's what happens. But it might be, I mean, for all we know. But he renders her unconscious for a while and proceeds to turn the woman into an infernal and then kill her. Because he's apparently trying to find something for this person named the Evangelist, and he's trying to find like something that can hold a person who's strong enough to resist infernalization in order to hold something called the pilot light. No clue what that means, but we'll probably get more on that in the future. And so we have Rika then do the same to a kid. And it was the most singular, horrifying thing in this series so far. Just seeing this kid start to turn. Luckily, he was able to fight through it. And again, don't know exactly what that's going to end up meaning yet, but he was able to resist infernalization. But seeing like him had the bug pressed against him, seeing him starting to turn and everything, it just like it freaked me out. It bothered the shit out of me, and it's like it's bad enough for anyone, of course, but for kids specifically, it really bothers me. When in any case, in real life, in shows, in games, whatever, when kids are hurt or killed or anything like that, it makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me legitimately really upset. And so, seeing this kid be basically used as an experiment is horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So, we see Tamaki sends out some flares to kind of act as a signal to anyone nearby as she regains consciousness, but in return, Rika just has gone completely crazy and starts beating the shit out of her, and it's really horrific. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of her, because for a lot of the case, she's been very, again, with the negative fan service, the bad fan service, but here we see, in this episode, we do see more to her, especially with her sense of morals and decency against what Rika's doing. And we see how desperate she is to find help, to get someone to come and help her and these kids. And so when you see Shinra come in and just like plant his foot down and smash Rika's face into the ground, it's so satisfying. Because it's like, it makes you despise the shit out of this guy. And it's like, last episode, it's like, I didn't really have any strong feelings on him. He seemed like kind of goofy and weird and over the top, but that was about it. I didn't necessarily suspect him. I didn't necessarily suspect any of them. In fact, I believe, if I remember right, my thoughts were, I don't think it is Company 1. I didn't think Company 1 was behind this, and I don't think as a whole they are. I don't think the captain is behind any of this, but I'm still surprised to see that one of the lieutenants was at least partially. And again, the fact that we find out so quickly, And this is only episode 8. The fact that we found out so quickly who or how the infernalization is being caused, and at least to a point, who, at least one person who was causing it, it's really surprised me. And this kind of leads me to wonder. The first scene of this series, in episode 1, someone combusts on a train. So that means that someone was on that train who put the bug against them, right? Unless the bugs can somehow be controlled, or they're just let loose somewhere. But it would still kind of imply to me that that there was someone in that train who actively released the bug at some point. And it just took maybe some time to get to the guy, or something like that. And it's just like, you gotta wonder, like, what all of this means, and who this evangelist is, and what the point of this all is. What is the pilot like? Because this guy seemed like he thought he was doing something good. Like, that's basically what it seemed like Rika's thought process was. Like, he believed that this was necessary, that this was important, even. We just don't know why. We don't know what his reasoning is. We don't know what his thought process is. Maybe we'll find that out next episode, because this one kind of left off with just Tamaki breaking down after being saved, and she might start to like him just like Princess Hibana had. They might go that route, but I don't really see that one, personally. Maybe it's just because I don't think they really have much of any chemistry right now, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll gain some. But I really, really did like that scene of her breaking down, because it showed how fucked up she was from all of that, because she looked up to and basically idolized Rika. So this really bothered her. But also, we saw her smile at the end, showing that her tears were also from thankfulness for the fact that Shinra saw her signal and came to save these kids, and, well, even her. She was glad that she was able to get someone to come in time. And that's... so she definitely has these mixed emotions, I'm sure, here. Happiness that it worked, that she was able to send out that signal, that she basically did save these kids. But also the fact that she has to now deal with her hero proving to be this scummy, disgusting piece of shit who would sacrifice kids for some unknown reason. It's just absolutely a really strong, heavy mix of emotions. And like I said, this episode was very hard to watch because of that, because it's like, as I said, anytime like kids are like hurt or threatened, or especially killed in any kind of media or whatnot, it bothers the shit out of me. It legitimately upsets me. It makes me really, really just horrified that anyone could do that. And I'm glad that the one kid survived. But I do feel it almost would have left even bigger of an impact if he didn't. As horrible as that sounds, just from a story perspective, it would have made us hate Rika even more if he hadn't survived, if the kid hadn't survived. But I'm so happy he did. Honestly, I don't think we need to hate Rika any more than we already do at this point. Just the fact that he was willing to kill this kid is enough. It's just enough reason for us to despise his ass. And I'm so glad he got what was coming to him there. We'll see how this goes with next episode. I assume they're going to continue with this. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Fire Force. And as always, no spoilers for the future, please. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.